The man who built an empire of 20 stores looked into the mirror and destroyed himself. A suit worth thousands lay crumpled on the floor. In its place, a thrift store jacket clung to his shoulders like shame. The gold watch was stripped away, replaced by plastic that ticked too loud in the silence. "They will never know it's me," Jackson whispered, though his reflection no longer looked human, just a tired stranger preparing for war. Outside, the Tesla gleamed like a lie. He left it behind. The Civic's cracked dashboard greeted him instead, the smell of dust and gasoline filling the air. The richest man in the company was about to become its poorest customer, and the test he had devised would not measure numbers. It would expose loyalties, betrayals, and a truth that could burn his life's work to the ground. The mahogany table stretched between them like a battlefield. Charts glowed on the screen, profits climbing, margins healthy. Yet, one line kept cutting deeper, turnover rising month after month. Janet, the chief financial officer, leaned forward, voice steady as stone. "It's the retail sector, Jackson. Everyone's struggling with retention. Nothing unusual." Her words hung like perfume that couldn't mask the stench. Jackson said nothing. Silence was heavier than any argument, and his gaze dropped to the figures again. Profits shining, people leaving. The numbers looked triumphant, but beneath them he heard the faint sound of something hollow breaking. He tapped the pen once, twice, then let it fall. His eyes scanned the room of confident executives, polished faces, practiced reassurances, but he saw the cracks only he seemed willing to notice. A company that looked alive on paper, yet bled slowly where no one measured. Doubt spread through him like smoke seeping under a locked door. Something rotten lived beneath these profits, something his team either could not see or would not say. Inside his silence, a thought sharpened. "If no one tells me the truth, I will find it myself." Alone, Jackson recalled the creed that had carried him from a single corner store to 20 locations. Treat your employees well, and they will. Treat customers well. Those words had once been his compass, engraved on every policy spoken at every launch. But now, they felt brittle, like a slogan printed on fading plastic bags. If the creed had been true, why were customers dissatisfied? Why did workers flee faster than he could replace them? The numbers offered no answer. Reports were clean, immaculate, so clean they felt like lies. An idea, once absurd, began to pulse with certainty. Mystery shoppers had grown predictable. Managers rehearsed their smiles. But what if the owner vanished, replaced by a stranger? What if he descended into his own stores, not as their master, but as their burden? The paradox gnawed at him. He would become the problem customer. The voice executives dismissed the figure employees endured. Wealth would hide behind thrift, power behind disguise. What began as suspicion hardened into resolve. To see the truth, he would erase himself. Jackson faced the mirror again, but this time he was not simply dressing. He was erasing. The man reflected. There had once commanded boardrooms with a glance. Now he buried himself beneath clearance denim, the stiff fabric scratching his skin like penance. The silk tie lay discarded, replaced by a collar frayed at the edges. A plastic watch, its ticking, vulgar and loud, snapped around his wrist, where gold once gleamed. His hair, carefully styled each morning, now collapsed under a baseball cap that dimmed his face into anonymity. Glasses with thick frames dulled the sharpness of his eyes until even he doubted who looked back. This was not disguise alone. It was a stripping of identity. With every change, authority seeped out of him, leaving only Steve Mills. Impatient, petty, forgettable. The sort of customer managers brushed aside the sort employees endured in silence. Jackson studied the stranger staring back. Power had been shed, dignity traded for obscurity. The reflection was cold.